Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Ben Olson, that's Nathan Fox. We're the founders of LSATdemon.com and our weekly podcast, Thinking LSAT. We have an email here from Ryan. The subject is moving on from questions.
I started with a cold diagnostic of 154, and after 3 official tests, I reached a 169. However, to get there, I used what I would call the anti-demon method. Over 6 months, I sped through a core curriculum, memorized question types and informal logic, read the question first, and registered for the test well in advance each time, giving myself a deadline.
Okay.
And made 14 points total improvement over the course of 3 official tests.
Yep.
We think we could have done better for you than all that. That sounds like a lot of smoke and not enough fire. And doing a lot of things
Still
that
progress.
we think just, yeah, it is progress.
Yep.
I just wonder whether he, limited himself. He says now, I have since switched to your approach, but I'm still struggling to fully commit. Thing is, I always finish the section. That leads to my question. Is it ever okay to move on from questions when I do not know the answer or I'm unsure? I know this goes against your advice, but sometimes I hit a question that just does not click. I have a feeling about what your answer will be, but I would like to understand the reasoning behind that answer. Thanks again, Ryan. I have a feeling Ryan doesn't know what my answer is going to be.
I'm okay with moving on. At some point, you have to throw in the towel and move on. I just want to make sure that's not happening more than it should.
Which it obviously is.
Yeah, if you're finishing the section and you're in the 160s still,
right,
you're going too fast.
Right. But the answer isn't never, Ryan.
Yeah.
I always use the analogy of, how do you know when to get out of the car when you feel like you might be stuck in the snow? Well,
when your wheels are spinning?
Yeah. Are you still making traction at all or not? If you're still making traction at all, then the last thing you want to do is get out of the car.
Yeah.
But if you're stuck, the wheels are spinning, you've given it once or twice trying to rock, get some forward momentum, and you're not going anywhere, well then, yeah, that you're just not making any forward progress anyway, so you need to try something else.
Here's another analogy. Imagine that you're benching some weight. If you're still making progress, keep going, because it's those last few centimeters where you really push things forward. It might slow you down now, but okay, now you're going to get through that rep and you're going to be stronger the next time. It's if you give up, then you're not getting those gains, which mostly come at the end. But if you're not making progress, if you're stuck and you need someone to come save you from that weight, then yeah, move on. You're done with that rep.
Yeah, I just think that this should only be happening like once per section, maybe twice per section. And you right now, Ryan, are clearly giving yourself way too much permission not to keep going. You're doing a bunch of gimmicky stuff that's like, you've got speed, but just not nearly enough accuracy. You're not getting to 175 by doing what you've been doing. And you might easily get to 175 by really committing to what we're talking about, which is just, like Ben said, the gains come in the last little bit. Just imagine you've already spent 3 minutes on a question. You know it can't be A or B or D. It has to be C or E. There's immense value to be unlocked in the last 10 seconds. When you actually solve it down from that 50-50 that you were about to take, if you can actually solve it to just one answer, that's a full half of a point of value that you have unlocked for yourself in the last 10 seconds that you were working on that question.
Well, you're talking about immediate returns, but there's also these long-term returns of like figuring out how you figured it out without the help
And that.
of review and all that stuff. Yeah.
And that. Yeah. I just wouldn't pay too much attention to my scores if I were you. I would not register for any official LSATs right now. I would focus only on accuracy. I would just practice getting 95, 98, 100% accuracy on your questions attempted. They're all solvable. And yeah, you are gonna when you're actually doing it for real, or when you're doing it on a practice test, you are gonna sometimes just move on. But you shouldn't be moving on so many questions that you're finishing the sections and still scoring in the 160s. Anything more for Ryan?
Nope. Good luck and keep us posted.
Email daily at lsatdemon.com if you would like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.